trying to hit down on your irons could actually be ruining your game. The real secret to a perfect impact may not be what you think. And trust me when I tell you that great players are not intentionally trying to hit down. But I'm going to show you exactly what they do, and I think you could well get addicted to this feeling once you start to implement it into your game. Let's kind of start by looking at what actually does happen. When we hit iron shots from the ground, we do want the club head to be traveling downwards towards the ground when it makes contact with the ball. What that means is the lowest part of the circle is target side of the ball, and it means that the club head is traveling down and we often get divots. But that is not the intention. That's a byproduct of doing certain other things that I'm going to teach you in this video. Now I want to start by doing a little demonstration, and I think this is going to be really kind of eye-opening for many of you, and if you can, I'd love you to do this. It's a great little exercise, and then we'll link this back to the golf swing and show you how you can take these movements and add them in. Now take yourself back to when you were a kid and you might have gone to the fairground and they had that game where you picked up the hammer and you had to sort of hit the silver disc normally, and the thing shoots up and rings the bell at the top. If I had to do that with a golf club, let's look at what I would do quite naturally. I'm telling you, that's good fun. But we'll pop a little slow motion video on the screen of me doing that. So is the grip, the club shaft and the club head, are all of those things moving down towards the ground? No, they're not. What is the grip actually doing when we look at the grip versus the club head? They're doing completely different things. Yes, when my club hits that bag, it's going down towards the ground. But the grip is in the process of going actually towards me, and in some cases actually a little bit up. So the direction that this is traveling in is often, and will be in this little exercise, completely different to what this is doing. I would never push the whole golf club down into that. That just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't feel natural, it feels forced. If you feel that your golf swing is not natural, it feels forced, stay tuned, because there's going to be some information here which is really going to help you. You're going to get completely different feelings. I'm moving this grip in such a way into me and up, which basically fires my club head into that bag. And because it's efficient, I'm using physics to my advantage. Look at this. I can hold it between my finger and my thumb and still create massive amounts of speed. So how does that relate to the golf swing? Well, let's look at some great players and let's look at what they're doing through impact. And what you'll see on the screen here is that on all these shots, there's a little bit of a divot. There's some ground contact after the ball, which tells us that the club is traveling down. But look at the grip. What is the grip doing? What direction is it moving in relative to the ground? Up, away from the ground. So here's a little exercise I want you to do. Now we're going to bring this bag back in and we're going to kind of come full circle and link what we did at the start back to a swing. Now I appreciate not many of you are going to have this bag. If you have, great. But actually, do you know what? You can use your golf bag or something similar. So here's the completely different feeling I'm going to give you for your golf swing. If you think of what we did right at the start, we were talking about how the movement of the grip was different to the movement of the club head, and I said I could hit that bag pretty hard with just 2 fingers. Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get you to set up just in front of this impact bag. You're going to put yourself into a delivery position. We're going to talk a little bit more in a moment about how we need to get there, but I'm going to hold that club 2 fingers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push and rotate, and I'm going to actually pull the grip up and around. I have got so much power there, and it's effortless. I'm only holding that club with 2 fingers. That feels so easy to me because I'm using those kind of physics that we spoke about at the start of the video. I'm not trying to force the club down and stunt my rotation. I'm actually taking this part of the grip, pulling it up and around, using my body rotation, and that movement accelerates the club head. There's so much power going through that club head that feels effortless because I'm not forcing it. Up, 2 fingers only, down to delivery, spin the grip, and I get that power. And effectively, the more that I can move my body through, the more that I can move the grip up, the more power I get. And the club is working down. I get all of that kind of for free if I make the right movement. Now, as we link that into a golf swing, there's one really key point that we kind of haven't touched on. Let's imagine that's my impact position. We've taken a freeze frame, that's where my club is at impact. If that's where my club is at impact, and we said we want this grip to be going slightly up, by definition, before impact, that grip must have been slightly lower. That makes sense. So when you are looking at great golfers, when you look at the grip at setup and you look at the grip at the delivery position, the grip here is lower. And you'll see that with the clips that we're putting on the screen here. What this does is it basically gives me the green light to go ahead and make those movements that I want. You will never pivot through correctly. You will never make that movement that we just demonstrated with the bag if at your delivery position, the grip is too high because you've got nowhere to go. The only thing you've got left is to stall your rotation and try and force the club down. And as you said, it's weak, it's inconsistent, it's not going to give you great results. So the exercise I'd love you to do, and you can do this over 20, 30, 40 yards, even right the way to kind of full speed. Take a setup, work down to delivery where the grip is lower than it was at setup. As you can see that there. Now from here, I can have a couple of little pump rehearsals, and then I can spin my body, pull the grip up, club will go down, my strikes are going to be incredible. Your strikes are going to be incredible, and it's going to feel effortless. Got the full swing kit down here. With any luck, I'm going to have a negative attack angle. See where the grip is? We go lower at this point. Couple of rehearsals. Push up and away, pull the grip up. And that was a little bit heavy because I was probably trying to make that movement a little bit more extreme. Look at that attack angle, negative. Look at my divot, big. Big divot, my club was going down. I had no intention of making that club go down. My intentions was actually pulling the grip up, using my body, my rotation to do that. So as we go ahead and put that into a normal swing, should be able to get similar sort of attack angle, but with any luck, I'll strike this a little better. Yeah, much better strike. An attack angle exactly where it needs to be. Don't hit down, do that instead.